Mm-hmm. Oh my.
Well, you're in for a scare.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, what's going on?
Evening.
Hey, we're back with another Grody event, and I still got with me Peter, Guest, and Stanley, so I'm doing something right. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Y'all ready to party?
Cheers to that, man. I got some homemade eggnog right here and fresh bottle.
Yeah. Oh man, so we got.
Haven't heard that Goosebumps in a while.
I know. I thought it'd be fitting. I got my Goosebumps shirt on and everything because we'll be getting into it a little bit later because Disney somehow obtained the rights to Goosebumps. So they have a season 1 on Disney and season 2 is on both Hulu and Disney. And I just finished watching the second season and I got to tell you, I'm happy with it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Interesting. I haven't checked it out, but it looked better, and I've heard that it's scarier, darker, kind of like I guess maybe
darker and more gritty. People. But yeah, I'm happy with it. But until we get to all of that, we got some new stuff coming up. So apparently, we have confirmed quite a few cast members from the past of Marvel coming back for Avengers Doomsday. So we'll be getting into that.
Like like the people that bailed over that said they weren't coming back, but they are coming back.
Right.
Or just like
yes. Yes. The formula from Spider-Man No Way Home is set in stone, and I don't think we're going to be seeing it leave anytime soon.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get right into that one.
And they're missing all of they're missing everything about that. They totally, I'm calling it right now. They see like bringing back Tobey Maguire. I know I'm probably jumping the gun on this one. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go for it.
I see them. Like that, they like that nostalgia thing, and they're focusing on the nostalgia thing rather than what actually worked about that. Right. There's no nostalgia with Chris Evans. There's no nostalgia with Robert Downey Jr.
They're focusing on like the idea that it sells tickets that people like you said, the nostalgia of it, rather than the storytelling aspects of it.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm. What, you want to see the 3 different Hulks fighting each other?
No, I really don't.
Honestly, no, because I think the Edward Norton would win.
Right.
You don't want to make me mad. No, you don't want to make me mad.
I just want to see Edward Norton Hulk in the bathroom staring in the mirror, shaving his head.
Oh, that would be cool if they did bring Edward Norton back, though.
See
dude, it's fucking done. Move on.
Yeah, but they're doing it already. To see Edward Norton,
and they're already doing it wrong.
I just want to see Edward Norton's Hulk beat the shit out of Ruffalo's Hulk. And that other guy, I don't care about. He can just sit there and cry while everyone's fighting.
Yeah, we're talking about the smart Hulk, not the one from the first Avengers, right?
Yeah, no, that one was pretty good. I just don't like Ruffalo. I never really saw him as.
I haven't cared for him since I started listening to. Well, since I've ran into him a couple times on Twitter, and
that made it worse.
That made it way worse.
But, they need to just say, if you're going to be in movies, you don't get a Twitter account. You need to just shut your mouth, make your money, and act. Nobody cares what you have to
say. Do they have control over their own accounts? Like, you should have a publicist, a marketing person who's handling your brand and all your socials and shit. Like how Will Smith.
You'll never get a Gina Carano actually talks like sense. You're going to get all 100% marketing, and that they were being like patted on the back for all the bullshit they were tweeting. So it would have been worse if they had that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The only time you got honesty from Gina Carano was on the Ben Shapiro interview.
I didn't see that one. What did she do?
Oh yeah, she talked about why Disney kind of let her go, and her political views up on Twitter and everything that she wrote about, which is why they let her go and canceled her, basically.
Yeah,
and I love Gina Carano. I loved her.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
in Deadpool, she was excellent, and then in Mandalorian, I thought she was even better. She actually has range to be an actress, and I was like, that should have been our Wonder Woman, not Gal Gadot.
Yeah, but you know what?
And she was a strong female lead, like a respectable, strong female lead.
Yeah, but here's the thing: in all this like Gina Carano support, have you seen her Daily Wire stuff?
No, just that interview with Ben Shapiro.
That's why I love Gina Carano. Love you, Gina. I haven't seen any of the stuff she's done since then, so I guess it's like, keep going. Yeah.
We're just happy that she's speaking up, and
I do like that she speaks up, and it's nice to have a voice that represents me. I like representation, and what she says represents, more or less what I believe, and I feel appreciated. And
she's
you want to feel included.
Yeah.
She's the only chick I've ever seen on television where I actually believed, other than Lucy Lawless, that could actually kick my ass in real life.
I was just going to say, she would have been the next one on the list.
Yeah. She should have done never mind. I was going to say she should have done a modern Xena, but no. We need to come up with new shit.
Yeah.
I don't need a Xena remake.
Yeah. Those ended in a good time,
Yeah.
But, so everybody that was confirmed for Avengers Doomsday so far has been unveiled. And I thought,
who do we got?
Well,
run it down.
Do we have never mind, I forgot what I was going to say.
It's really interesting, of course, because we have Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom.
Are there going to be movies before the Doomsday, or what movies are coming out between then?
I don't feel like they are. I think this is just all right, we're making a quick, detour to make this happen so we can see what we're going to do for the future.
Yeah, I don't think that they have plans on anything prior. However, I will say with the Robert Downey Jr. thing, I know that I'm going to be staunch against this sort of thing. However, I will say there's precedent for the role of, what is it? Tony Stark was Dr. Doom in one of the comics or something.
There was a comic where Dr. Doom and Tony Stark's brains were swapped. And so Dr. Doom was able to take the Stark Enterprise and then basically destroy it, while Tony Stark, who was placed in the Doom position with nothing, ended up rebuilding a brand new empire from scratch, because that's what Tony Stark does, and still beat Doom.
Okay.
They were roommates in college, and it was like a science
experiment. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I knew it was something like that. So there's some kind of precedent for it.
I like the idea because it shows Tony Stark as the guy who's his ingenuity it knows no bounds. It's not because his fame, fortune, whatever. It's his mind. It's Tony Stark that makes him a success, and I like that. That's a good message.
Victor sounds like a lousy roommate. Every time he gets a roommate, like Fantastic, Mr. Fantastic, now Tony Stark, it's just always terrible.
Right? You're not lying. Which is
maybe at some point it's you have to look inward for the blame.
Yeah,
it's not us, it's you.
That doesn't happen with Victor Von Doom.
I just rewatched the old Fantastic Four movies. Those two Fantastic Four movies that I thought
the ones from the 70s.
No, they're old now, but they weren't. They're not really old. They're the 2000s.
Yeah,
and I never disliked them. They're not amazing movies, but they're not, in my opinion, they're not bad.
They're par for the course of the time.
Yeah, and they could have been way better, obviously. But I'm curious. Is the Fantastic Four movie coming out before Doomsday, or Doomsday coming out and that's going to lead into the Fantastic Four movie? So I'm pretty sure they had one on the slate.
I would almost say Fantastic Four would come out before Doomsday. That way they can set it up.
All right, while you're talking about this, I'm going to look it up.
I can tell you exactly, like, what year did the last Fantastic Four movie come out? Because that'll tell us exactly when the next one's going to come out. Because they're about to lose ownership of that IP.
Well, wasn't it 2019? Because that's when that shitty one came out.
Did they?
That darker, grittier one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot that existed.
Is that even MCU? What was that? Was that Sony?
That was Sony.
Yeah, that's a straight to VHS fucking cash grab.
Or it could have been Fox.
It might have been Fox because Disney has it right now on their.
I want to say it's Fox.
But
and they did own all that stuff.
But yeah, so they're totally nexting that one. They're nexting the Fox Century films and just going forward.
We've got Captain America, Brave New World. I remember seeing that poster with the Red Hulk. Mm-hmm. Daredevil, Born Again. I don't know if these are movies. I don't know which ones are movies, which ones are TV shows.
Born Again is going to be a series.
And then Thunderbolts. That one's coming out. Movie. Ironheart.
Can't wait for Thunderbolts.
And they also
who else here is going to get their Thunderbolts shirt?
Fantastic! I'm not getting a Thunderbolts shirt.
You're not going to get yourself the hat that's going to have like a little spinny thing on there,
or the dunce hat, maybe.
Big lollipop in hand.
Yeah. The Fantastic Four: First Steps. That's coming out this year. Wow, we got a lot of movies coming out. A lot of stuff coming out this year.
First Steps. That's what they're calling it.
The Fantastic Four, First Steps, and Baby Bottles.
Jesus Christ, that just screams reboot.
Yeah.
Well, it is a reboot.
Pedro Pascal is going to be Reed Richards. I think that's a miscast.
I think that's a miscast as well. Yeah. I don't like Pedro Pascal, even though he's a decent actor, I guess. But
he was so hot in The Mandalorian, they just had to put him in Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, God, he's so hot right now.
He's so hot.
Pedro Pascal's so hot.
He had the Game of Thrones, and then he had, Last of Us there. Yeah, so he had a couple of there that just really propelled him.
So he's a good actor, but this is not his domain.
Oh, Marvel Zombies.
It is now.
Is that going to be like a TV? That's got to be a TV show. Marvel Zombies.
That'd be awesome, actually.
They're making that October.
They could really reboot the Marvel.
That's coming out October this year.
I wonder if it's a series or a film, though. It's probably a series.
Probably a series, like the What If series. Probably the same kind of thing. Wonder Man's coming out in December.
She'll be Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman. I don't recall seeing this chick in anything.
Jeez, why do you do that? My daughter's just creeping into the garage to scare the piss out of me. It's twice, too. She did it to me yesterday.
Avengers Doomsday comes out May next year. Good job.
Okay, so first Fantastic Four, then Doomsday. All right.
Yeah, so we're going to the movie first, which I like.
So
I don't want an Avengers movie that's going to make me go watch I would rather have to do the Fantastic Four first.
Do you think that for the Fantastic Four film they'll do like the Dr. Claw thing, where they'll just show like glimpses of his shoulder or his hand, and then at the end of the film they actually unveil who he is as he's walking through the multiverse portal into Doomsday Avengers?
But we already know who he is, so it's like, why bother at this point?
I guess. But that would have been a cool,
it's a cool idea, definitely. And it would have been cooler. It'd been a lot cooler if they didn't reveal him. You know what I mean?
So Vanessa Kirby, never seen her before. Invisible Woman, good for her. Eben Moss as Ben Grimm the Thing. Now I've seen this guy on The Bear, the show The Bear. It's about that restaurant that they're putting together, and they're trying to make a 5-star Michelin restaurant. Really good show. Has the eldest son from Shameless in it. And this guy as the waiter and friend, he is a good actor. I want to see what he does as Ben Grimm.
So you think they're going to do a very more like a serious version of the Thing with this character? This guy.
It's going to be a darker, grittier Fantastic Four.
I like the original movie.
Actually, it's going to be like from what I understand, it's going to be kind of campy. It's going to be like take place in the 60s. Yeah. And it's going to be like, I saw like a Norman Rockwell-esque poster of them. And I got the vibe that it's going to be kind of like 60s vibe. And then they're going to somehow get transported into our universe or 616 universe.
Well,
which is the main sacred timeline.
Captain America First Avenger kind of had that like darkening layer over the lighting for the film, because it was a war film and everything. So I'm wondering if they're going to go with that same kind of like
pinks,
darker shading or whatever. But yeah, seeing this guy and the kind of stoicism that these characters have as they're being put up on posters and everything, I don't know if it's going to be campy or it's just going to be in the 60s and just,
I guess, yeah, it's not campy. It's just like that silly 60s vibe kind of a. I don't think it's going to be gritty at all.
I wonder how silly this guy can be because he plays an asshole on The Bear.
Well, it's just the general feeling of the film. Like, not necessarily, he could be the hard ass of the film.
Sure.
Yeah, you have to have like that anchor to base all of the comedy around.
Right.
Well, I will say, like, my approach to that, to like judging actors, one of the things that I do is I look at the guy who played it last, best, whatever. And man, I didn't see the last one, 2019, to be honest with you. Didn't even know that thing existed, so I can't speak to that. But that Michael dude that played it back in the 90s or early 2000s, like I thought he was actually a good fit for that role.
Great job is the thing, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm
made it look more like this thing, this one.
Yeah, exactly.
The eyebrows. This is what I think of when I think of the Thing.
Something about those, overarching brows, kind of like the old Hulk of the Silver Age. It's really cool. I want them to bring that back. And then, of course, Joseph Quinn as Johnny.
Oh, for the love of God, why are we doing this?
What the? Oh my God! Just bring back Chris.
Hey, nothing against this dude, and I'm sure he'll do fine. Like, no, he's not top of the list. I'm sure he'll be fine.
He did great as other roles.
They didn't cast him because they're like, this is the guy. They cast him because I guarantee that conversation was sitting around the table, and they're like, hey, we got the kid from Stranger Things, and everybody's like, oh.
That kid? And they're like, no, not that kid. The other kid. The one that was like the
yeah. Oh, the guy with the clavicles? No, not him.
No, not the other one. The new one?
The one with the hair? It's like, well, he does have hair.
Yeah.
But his hair is going to be on flame. It won't really matter.
I hope they do the fire effects cool because I was, after rewatching, there was a lot of like practical. I don't know what you call it. It's overlapping. It's like a practical, but it's not quite CGI. But it's they had a lot of fire. The CGI special effects for Human Torch were not cool.
Fun fact.
It was good for its time, but by today's, no.
Yeah. The guys who did the fire effects for Chris Evans, Johnny Guy thing, whatever, Human Torch.
Yeah.
The guys who did his Human Torch effects in the Daredevil movie were instructed to reproduce the way that they did it for him in the 90s. So like you can compare like they weren't just like make him flamey. They were like, we want you to make it like the flamey that he had back then. Like, I don't know that they used the old style, but they were instructed to reproduce the style.
The Daredevil Human
Torch? Not Daredevil,
Ghost Rider? Oh, Deadpool.
No, Deadpool. Chris Evans, Human Torch, and Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
So those guys, when he did the flame on, when he did the flame on, they had to redo the flames in the same way that they were done back in his original character.
I tell you what, that's actually pretty cool. I admire that, and I like that attention to detail. But it's kind of funny going back and rewatching those movies brings a whole new dimension. Now that I know what happens to him, he's like everything. He's just, I'm like, oh fuck, buddy, you got it coming.
Next up, Sebastian Stan from the Thunderbolts is going to be making an appearance. Winter Soldier.
You gotta have introduce, get him ready. Even though Thunderbolts is coming out first.
Yeah. But
so that's about all I got to say on that one.
Yeah. I just want him to get to X-Men, but I want him to get past all the DEI shit first.
Yelena's going to be back.
So I kind of like her.
Wait, who's she?
Yeah. She's Black Widow's little sister.
I didn't see that one. I don't know anything about her.
Movie was bleh. It was fine to go.
She was good,
that's different. Yeah, she was. Like the actress, like she did a good job with it.
Okay. Yeah. Was that movie any good? I didn't see. I think
it was. It was ham-fisted. They shit that thing out.
Shang-Chi through like a period of like 3 attempts.
If you put the Black Widow film next to the Captain America Winter Soldier film, same beats in the film.
So they tried to copy
pasted a lot of shit.
Yeah. It was just like they went to the original edited file and they're just like, yeah, just switch out the fucking clips.
I just think it was an abomination what they did with Taskmaster.
Yeah, you're not lying.
That guy looks different. I remember seeing him in that TV show.
He was on the Falcon and Winter Soldier show on Disney, and he became the new Captain America. But I guess they made him become U.S.
He was always meant to be the guy who like got it and lost it.
Yeah, but he actually like killed people, which was fine. He got the job done.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Guardian is back from Black Widow.
Yeah, I liked him. I like David Harbour rather.
Yeah,
he did. I
actually thought he was.
They would have done. They would have done. Yes, I agree. I think like that White Widow, whatever movie, or Black Widow, sorry, whatever. God, there was potential there, but that thing was just a hammer out vehicle to shut up Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Hey, never mind. I'll tell you later, Jake.
Okay.
Something I know.
Hannah John Kamen, the girl that played Ghost and Ant-Man and the Wasp, she's back, of course, because she's going to be in Thunderbolts also, but apparently she's going to be in Avengers Doomsday also.
Nobody's going to remember her.
Taskmaster is somehow back. So it's okay. It's going to be. I hope.
Wait, didn't he die? I thought he blew up.
Yeah, I thought she blew up too. So maybe it's a dude taking over now.
It's going to be her and her body double.
And finally, we get to the people.
No, it's going to be from an alternate timeline, an alternate universe.
Benedict Cumberbatch is back as Doctor Strange for Avengers Doomsday. I'm happy to hear it.
Yes, just don't make it a comedic role.
Oh, agreed. He's going to be the new Tony Stark, is what I got from it. After the Avengers in Infinity War and Endgame, because he was a soul protector of the Soul Stone. So it was all on him to give it up and let the story move forward. So I think he's taken over being a pivotal point that Tony Stark was.
Yeah, but what are they going to go from there? Because I was real stoked for the multiverse, into the multiverse movie until when I watched it, I was like, oh, this isn't really what I was told this was going to be a horror, like freak movie, and I was like, that's going to be cool because and I was like, that's going to be cool because it's Doctor Strange, and imagine the horrors you could go with that, and they didn't at all. And
I mean, it was kind of like cool.
It was an alright movie, but
Sam Raimi directed it, and you got some horrific elements out of it.
I mean, it had things that were cool, but I liked the weird Illuminati scene, which was weird. I didn't like how everybody died so easily, but I did like the way they crushed that dude's head. That was cool.
So that's all that Screen Rant confirmed for us. But I also heard that Sam Wilson from Captain America is going to be showing up.
Yeah, he's one of their bigger guys now.
That's not surprising.
Peggy Carter is coming back as Captain Carter, the British captain.
Wasn't she young? Wouldn't she have been Captain Carter back in the past?
Right. So is this another variant?
She's probably from their universe.
So if she's from the 60s,
if
at what point did Captain America go back? Because he got back to get with her, right? I mean, that was the point.
But it had to be sometime after he was put on ice. So she probably took up the mantle somewhere in between that time.
Jesus in the Christ. 60s. I don't envy the guy who has to do their continuity.
I just figured it out. The Fantastic Four movie's taking place in the 60s, which is after Captain America gets frozen. She's going to be a little bit older, so her aging makes sense, and she's going to come from their universe.
It's made Stanley so upset he's pouring another.
Cheers to that.
The whole bottle. Apparently, Chris Evans is coming back also as Captain America.
I did hear that.
I thought no. I don't buy that. Yeah. It might be Captain America. There was another role. It was like it was one of the other Captain America roles that it tied in really well with Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom. There was like a comic book or something somewhere where Captain America did something with Dr. Doom.
No, he worked for Hydra. He worked for Hydra for a little bit.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, so it was something like that.
The script that can make
Captain
sense
Hydra, I guess.
Yeah, something like I don't know.
Which
that'll be interesting.
I think that's almost universally hated.
Everybody hated it.
Everyone hated that story.
That's why they only gave a nod to it in Infinity in Endgame when he leaned over to the people in the elevator and was like, "Hell Hydra."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was it. That's all anybody wanted. And said
that's all anybody wanted out of that. And that was like, okay, cool, that's fine,
good,
but
done.
Yeah. But if they're gonna bring him back as Captain Hydra, that's gonna.
Yeah, I'll actually watch Thunderbolts. I'll probably wait for the new Captain America film to come out for me to watch it and stream it. But I'm happy to say I'm actually interested in Avengers Doomsday and see what they're going to do with it.
I want to see.
I'm curious.
Four. I'm down for Doomsday.
Oh yeah, Fantastic Four. I'll probably wait for that one to stream too. I just don't have high hopes for it, man.
I think I'm going to wait till Thunderbolts hit streaming.
So all of this stuff
for the clips.
Yeah, right. I can't wait to be having this conversation about all of this. My take on it, looking at all of that combined, and it's like you can kind of see a little bit of a roadmap of what they're trying to accomplish, and it's money. Like it's like banking on names. I don't see storytelling. I don't see. I don't see the things that I like to get excited about. The stories in some of the prior movies were good. I
don't see it.
That's not going to be the case.
I don't see it as making money. I see it as a Hail Mary to scrape money together because they've been losing on their ass for the past 5 years.
These dipshits, what they do, they absolutely bank on Endgame and that whole like last thing that they did, and then they got an accidental all-star hit with Spider-Man, and so they're setting their budgets based on these movies.
Right.
And if you set your budget for future movies based on the performance of these other ones, then it's like, well, yeah, these movies have to be successful. Thunderbolts has to be successful. We have to make as much money off of these, which means the only way you can do that is we're going to have to invest in Chris Evans. We're going to have to get Robbie Downey Jr. And we're going to have to do the multiverse thing because that's what worked. It's all like
that's where the money's going, though, is Robert Downey Jr. and Doctor Strange. And
because they've lost so much interest in these movies. I feel like they've got to bring they know that nobody cares anymore, so they've got to do something to get everyone excited again. And so throw the money at these big actors, get them back in, and people will.
Also, those guys made serious money. I don't know how much. I want to say it was something like $10 million or something they made. But Endgame, that thing grossed over $1 billion. That $10 million that Robert Downey Jr. got is a fart in the bucket compared to what those guys made. They're getting investment into everything that they're doing based on the fact that they have this name and that they have agreed to do a multiverse fucking movie.
Yeah, but there's something they're not considering. It took 20 years to build that up.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Also, and they got built on the back of good storytelling.
Why else do you think that they have a bunch of no names other than Pedro Pascal in the Fantastic Four film? Because all the money's going to Pedro or Robert Downey Jr. You have to get no names that you can pay little so you can put all the other money into sets, production, the two actors that actually mean something.
They have other actors. They could have picked somebody other than Pedro Pascal.
They don't need the names. So, like, I don't like that. I don't even like the investment in the names. I know why they do it. I don't need Pedro Pascal. I like Ilyana. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
You know, it would have been better if they had done. He's just too old, in my opinion. He does not fit. If you look at the cast, you've got a younger cast for the rest of them, and then you got Pedro Pascal. He's like their grandpa. He could be like their dad.
Yeah.
He's grandpa fantastic. They should have had. He could have been an older version of Mr. Fantastic, but make it. I don't know. I think they could have gone with somebody younger that fit the role better.
I didn't even like John Krasinski as fantastic. It didn't fit.
You know what? I liked it. I don't think they did it justice in that movie, in the Doctor Strange movie. They didn't give him good roles. I feel like they didn't want him to be Mr. Fantastic, so they put that in there to make people, member berries and shit. The fan service, but then they nuked his lines. They literally unraveled. They spaghettied the guy just to lose, just to kind of make people not be like, oh no, he turned into spaghetti. I don't really want him as Fantastic.
You know who did him best was the guys that did Venture Brothers.
Yeah, that jackass.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm thinking of all the Fantastic Four movies. The old one that never made it to theaters is actually one of the more entertaining versions of those characters, even though the special effects sucked. The movie itself was very fun to watch. It was just a fun movie. Mr. Fantastic, his stretch effects were dog shit. But a lot of the other ones were like that classic He-Man style filming, and special effects. A lot of practical effects, so it was kind of fun. They just fucked him up big time.
I hear that, but
they need to go with somebody that kind of like him though, because he did a good job, I think, as Mr. Fantastic.
If they bring back John Krasinski, I'd actually be okay with that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I could sign off on it.
Yeah. He's just got to be
I'm
somebody
not even
you can
against.
Think is...
Go ahead.
No, I just think it's got to be somebody who seems smart. I don't think Petra. When I don't look at him and go, "Oh, he looks like a smart guy." I don't even look at John Krasinski and think that either, to be honest. But
yeah,
honestly, I don't even think that of that old one, the old '90s one that didn't make it to theaters. But I did kind of feel that with the 2000s Fantastic Four.
I agree. I thought that casting was okay.
It was weird movies, but at least I thought he was like a decent Mr. Fantastic. They could have done better, but he, I think, did a good job. That was a good casting. That whole movie had great casting for everybody.
Dude, they got Chris Evans as the Human Torch. In hindsight, that was Jessica Alba. Dr. Doom was an excellent choice.
The guy from The Shield. You know what I mean? It was great casting.
Yeah.
They just didn't. People didn't know enough of the lore. I don't think they did Galactus right. Obviously, they didn't do Galactus right. It's interesting.
Oh, the guy from you might have named him if no you didn't. The guy who did Dr. Doom in those movies was the guy from Nip Tuck. I like him.
Yeah. I said him, but I don't remember his name. But yeah, that guy did great. He's a good actor. He was just a good bad guy. He's a really good bad guy. Who there was I was just thinking of this the other day. People who played just really good bad guys that you just love to hate. And that's just a testament to how well they are as, an actor.
I will say that the one thing that I can sign off on with this, Robert Downey Jr., to me is an excellent bad guy, Dr. Doom style. I can see. I mean, he's obviously Tony Stark, but I can kind of see him in that role.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the good actors that played really good villains are kind of dead now, unfortunately. What was the guy that played? He was in Die Hard, and he was also the bad guy. Or not the bad guy. He was Snape in Harry Potter.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That guy was a good actor. He's another one. It's one of those guys.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah,
you
Alan
like
Rickman.
to hate him as Snape.
Yeah.
Or even in Die Hard, he was really good there. That was his first actual film.
Well, the problem with that is, dude, and I'm sorry, but I'm just going to call a spade a spade. There's just nothing ominous about a millennial.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like I could kick all their asses.
Yeah, like,
and that's not
like they hear stories about how our parents let us go wander the neighborhood all day in the middle of summer, living off of the garden hose, and they hear those stories, and they're like, how is that guy supposed to grow up to be a bad guy?
All right, so in the Superman movies, the Lex Luthor guy who's like, "Well, I'm young and wild and crazy. I'm so autistic, I can't even control myself." Like that guy, I feel like I could kick his ass. And on top of that, the only thing I'd be worried about is him me tooing me or getting me canceled, which I mean, maybe I could lose my account. I don't know what else.
He's going to have your Twitter account like shadow banned.
Yeah, he's going to get me kicked off of Twitter. That's what he's going to do to me. And then I'll just go over to Truth Social or some shit. What do they do?
He's going to crack your password on Google.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Rumble after that. It's not a threat. It's like, all right, bro.
Guys, we've got one half of our guests here right now, and I'm about to bring him in. Say hello to one of the creators within the Volume 1 of Tricks and Treats. None other than Justin Soto.
Oh my God, it's me.
What's
Mr. Soto?
How's it going, guys?
Cheers.
You had like one half, and I was like, "Ooh, I wonder which half it is."
The team is complete.
Part of it.
The cliffhanger.
There he is.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's going on, man? How's y'all's book coming along?
Which one?
Well, I'm talking about the
good
one
answer.
We're coming out with in June, but yeah, how's Tricks and Treat 2 doing?
It's done. Like I said last time, it's done. We did that one. Was it last June, July, somewhere around there?
We saw it around I think Halloween, right? That's when we first started coming across it.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And what a topic. Awesome. Now we're on the Goosebumps, so you've got the experts here with us right now.
That's right.
Oh, man.
So this was mainly going to be, and Grody pointed this out to me. I accidentally opened up the event for Peter brought it to my knowledge. I accidentally opened up the invite and the live stream for open mic night. So while everybody was talking, I had to switch the banners, switch the title, and switch the descriptions so I could make it to where this one's actually about the Goosebumps and everything. And yeah, so I guess we'll get into it right now. But
that's why they pay the big bucks, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you guys could come on. Huh?
Wait, we get paid?
Not he.
Just Jake.
I was starting to say
exposure.
I have not signed any papers. No papers. But yeah. So I thought it would be cool because we're about to talk about Goosebumps and the new series that has come out on Hulu and Disney. That we got some guys that like to write the horror and the thrillers to talk about it. Because I have no doubt you've probably been influenced by Goosebumps and other such storytelling. So I thought you guys could tell me, like, what influenced you guys with the horror stories? Like, why did you pick that genre? What led you to that?
I'll let you talk about it, Justin.
Oh, right. So the influences come from a lot of late night television of like TNT, basic cable stuff.
Okay.
The X-Files.
I love the X-Files.
And that kind of stuff. So as far as like Goosebumps, I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but there is one episode I distinctly remember. It was the only one that actually scared me. There's one with a dummy, which I guess is, I don't know if that's like that's that one scarred me for a while. My sister wouldn't let me watch Goosebumps after that.
I like the one. I don't even remember if they made an episode. I think they did make an episode, but when I was a kid, I used to read the books, and I like the one with the sponge. There was like the sponge under the sink that turned into a monster, and I always I had like a crazy imagination, so I'm like paranoid to go under the sink.
So he's scared of cleanliness. And you guys are scared of dummies, but you're on a panel here with everyone here.
Yeah,
the hell are like guys?
I grew out of it eventually, like a couple years ago.
Right.
I can hold a sponge now.
Nah, I had
never seen an episode of SpongeBob though. Like
Night of the Living Dummy. Yeah, that's right. with Slappy.
Night of the Living Dummy with Slappy. The dummy's name was Slappy.
Slappy.
Yeah, that one freaked me out too. But the very first one that I actually read and then got the VHS tape for it was A Night in Terror Tower. I don't know if you guys know about that one.
Man, I used to love those books. And when the show came out, I was really excited because I wanted to see how they were going to adapt it. And I do think they did the Sponge one, but they didn't do a very good job with it. Slappy was all right.
Yeah, they were episodic, so I'm sure it was an episode. I just never saw it. Like he put out like 70 titles under Goosebumps, which was insane.
Did y'all see the movie? Was it Jack Black in that movie?
Yeah.
Did y'all see that movie?
How was it?
I wanted to see it. We went and watched it. It was fun. I mean, it was like on par with Goosebumps. I mean, it's a Goosebumps movie. They did a decent job with it.
Okay.
In relation to the books. And then I see we got this new series out, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm hearing pretty good things.
You know, you've probably only heard from me.
No, somebody on one of those other channels was talking about it.
So what's really cool is they brought in David Schwimmer from Friends to be one of the main characters in this season 2. And I got to tell you, his character from Friends really bleeds into this, but it fits so well.
He was the scariest friend, yeah.
Have you ever seen? They did a re-edit of like scenes of him from Friends, but they changed the music instead of being the Friends, stuff.
Took out the laugh track.
They simply removed it. They took out the laugh track and they added in the ominous sound. And dude, it was like spot on. Yeah, it was good. So I see this and I immediately think about that, like whatever YouTube video thing they did.
Yeah. So this season starts out with the story of don't go or stay out of the basement. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember reading that one.
Okay,
well,
so
refresh my memory. How does that one go?
So the kids come from home one day, and their dad is like a scientist or a botanist, right? And he, as the father, tells the kids to stay out of the basement, just like never go down there. That's where all of his research is and everything. And it kind of follows it in the new series, but in the old book or the episode, they noticed some weird things started happening with their dad. He was more detached than usual. He started eating plant food out from under the sink that was supposed to be for the garden, just acting really weird. And when the kids start investigating, they go upstairs to the bedroom because now the mom's like gone or just not knowing what's going on. And they pull back the sheets because it looks like the bed's breathing, right? The sheets are just going up and down.
Yeah, I remember that in the book.
And it is a bed of worms. And so they lead with that. Then they decide to go down into the basement. They find out that their dad's being tied up in the basement, and somehow the plant down there had mixed with their dad's blood and became a clone that was trying to now make more clones.
They see that like that about Goosebumps.
Yeah,
that's eerie.
So that's what launches this whole second season of Goosebumps, because instead of just making it episodic to where each book had its own 30 minutes, they now try to incorporate it into an actual flowing narrative.
Oh, they're connecting all the stories.
I like that.
That's
pretty cool. That's
so
cool.
Now, So it starts out with, stay out of the basement. It goes into the haunted car. And it's really weird how they do that. You got to turn your brain off at some of these parts because it doesn't make sense how they're making some of this shit connect. It just does is basically their excuse. And so, but it is cool. It does get a little bit more dark and gritty than the original Goosebumps videos did because, it was on Fox.
It needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. The old ones were for kids as well, but they were, it was like the 90s. Everything was kind of like, not
if
scary.
You can get past the third episode going into the whole girl empowerment and all this shit, you'll be fine because they do throw that shit in. It's Disney. They're going to throw it in.
Dude, they could have totally gone Night of the Crypt Keeper or Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt. I remember back in the 90s watching like I don't remember a specific day this happened, but I'm sure there's a day I watched Goosebumps, after school, and then I went to like we ended up watching Tales from the Crypt after that, and the idea of going from like, oh, this is like scary to like, holy shit! Like when there an episode where the dude was like some chick had her guts ripped out. Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, she was I remember that. I think we were over at Jesse's house, our cousin's house.
We're at our cousin's
when we saw that because they had HBO, and that was the episode where she was trying out to be Miss something, and it ended up she was like Miss Autopsy.
Yeah, that shit fucked me up when I saw that. But my family was like that. We'd watch like Predator. My dad was cool with me watching Predator. But they had to like pre-screen James Bond GoldenEye before I was allowed to watch it.
Weird. So I think the only episode that I can remember of Tales from the Crypt was this lumberjack episode. It was real dark for me because I had only grown up on Goosebumps and stuff that Nickelodeon would show. So when I saw this episode, because my dad loved scaring us as kids, he would make us watch It or Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm only fucking 5. But an episode of Tales from the Crypt I remember was this new guy was just hired on to this lumberjack team, and the owner's wife kept looking at him and hitting on him. And finally, one night, he sleeps with the owner's wife, and the husband finds out and beats the living daylights out of him to where he goes blind. Don't ask me why he's still working for the guy at the lumberjack lot.
Because it was the 90s.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so word got around to the other co-workers of his about what happened. And so as he's blind, chopping away wood with an axe while he's blind, his buddies come over to him and say, hey, man, we need your help on this piece of wood. And he's like, guys, I can't fucking do it. I'm blind. I can't use a chainsaw. That's dangerous. He's like, don't worry, man. We'll guide your hand. And they start guiding their hand into a piece of the wood that they have hollowed out and put the woman in, hog-tied her, put a sock in her mouth. And then when the camera pans over to a second piece of wood, it's the husband in the second one. And it ends like that. That was crazy.
I gotta get those. Like, where's that streaming? I gotta go back and watch those again. Right? Is that still on HBO?
Yeah, I think they own that one.
Probably be on Max.
Yeah, and I got X-Files. Actually, oh man, I used to go to sleep watching. I gotta fall asleep to something on the TV, and X-Files was like my go-to to fall asleep to, right? Because you get some wild dreams, man, when you get some of those episodes. But I love the X-Files. And then, PlayStation had to go and ditch my Voodoo. Does anyone else use Voodoo, which is like Fandango now?
I use Voodoo.
I've got so many movies on there, and I use my PlayStation to do my media and shit, all my streaming. Well, they ditched Voodoo, or Voodoo ditched PlayStation or something, so I can't watch it. My Voodoo, I have this huge library I can't watch on there anymore unless I get the new PlayStation.
That's interesting.
I'm not going to get the new PlayStation.
Sotos, Grody, what were some of the episodes or books that you guys remember?
What's your influences?
Go ahead, guest.
Well, I was going to talk about with X-Files. There was some really crazy episodes. Like they did a crossover with Cops one time, and that was
that was an awesome episode.
Where it's like the monster was just fear that manifested itself in whatever you were scared of, and the cops were chasing it down.
They thought it was a werewolf.
Yeah,
and the Mulder jumps in the scene. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. I love that episode.
Twilight Zone was also a really good series. And when they did the movie where they just took old stories they had and brought them up to the future, modernized them, it was really good. Even the part where they had the monster on the monster on the plane, where he's like, "There's a monster on the wing." The design they had.
There's something on the wing.
Freaky.
I will say the monster was definitely creepier in the movie, but I still you can't beat that.
William Shatner.
William Shatner
monster on the wing.
Yeah. I think that people joke about it a little bit.
There's time now,
exaggerated, but his panic was funny. His panic was over the top. But there's something.
Did he sweat like that? Could he sweat on cue?
I'm sure they had that thing on 90 degrees. His panic looked sincere, man. I liked it. William Shatner's just great. Watching him freak out about that goofy hairy thing on the wing. What a creepy concept! The Twilight Zone. That show rocks. Who wants to be on a plane and see some gremlin on the wing of a plane?
Right.
Just there.
Can you imagine
the whole time
just seeing one of those pieces of metal on the wing? If it just started doing this number.
Yeah, and he's fucking with it. You know what? We need to get back to. I like that they're redoing Goosebumps like this because we need to get back to that scary shit that makes you afraid of the dark, that kind of thing. We need that because people are not afraid enough. You know what I mean?
Not anymore.
They're not afraid of getting spanked. They're not afraid of going to jail. Nobody's afraid of shit. And it's time we bring back horror and even horror movies aren't scary. We got to bring back maybe some pain, suffering. I don't know.
Megan and I are going back and we're watching the first season of the new Goosebumps series on Disney, and they did the Haunted Mask episode, right?
I like that one. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, this is what the mask looked back when we were young, right?
It looked like a mask.
And honest to God, I used to have this mask. Okay.
Nice.
So there was this catalog that my mom would get all the time in the mail, as they all did back in the 90s. And it was called LL Bean. Do you guys remember LL Bean, the catalog?
Yeah. Familiar with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they had a Halloween catalog, and lo and behold, they had this mask, Slappy the Dummy, and some random skeleton mask. And I was like, Mom, I need that. I wore that thing all the time, and my brother pissed his pants all the time. Sotos, you guys are brothers. You guys know about scaring each other and giving each other shit, right? Isn't it just the best feeling?
I used to scare my sisters more than my brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have two older sisters. Yeah.
Well, how'd that go?
Yeah, I didn't have sisters. I had only brothers. So
yeah, I didn't.
It was pretty easy.
High heels or anything.
All we have to say is there's a spider on your shirt. She'd just freak out. So
see, that's all I had to do. My whole family is terrified of spiders. Now I don't
total arachnophobes.
I'm not a complete arachnophobia. I just hate black widows. That's it. I don't like brown recluses either, but black widows are the only ones that really get under my skin, and I hate with a passion.
So you got a problem with poison. That's what you got a problem with. Venomous.
Yeah. The rest of the family are panicky. So the spiders were easy to, if I ever wanted to get them, the spiders were the easy way to go. But then again, I wouldn't want to go down that road because you never, they'll start throwing spiders and shit at me.
Payback's a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to pick your battles.
Yeah. With sisters, they just scream. With brothers, it might turn into a fist fight.
Yeah.
And it has several times.
Yeah, no lie. So that's the Haunted Mask from the old show. This is what the new Haunted Mask looks like, and tell me if you see a difference.
Way scary.
Wow.
Put a purple wig on it, and I'm terrified.
It looks like it should be handing you a list of chores.
Yeah, you're not lying. So the thing that they did different with this one is that instead of being a full-blown mask like the original, this one is just that half face one, right? And so when she puts it on a second time, it would actually do Jim Carrey's mask and crawl to the back of her head and collapse around her.
Like the mask.
That way.
Yeah.
Right. But it would speak to her telepathically with a whispery, raspy male voice. So that's another thing I noticed. All the guys are incompetent. It's the women that do all the stuff. Maybe you guys shouldn't go back and watch this, but I still found it to be good.
On a second thought, maybe
I didn't even think about it. I didn't think to ask about any of that. I thought we were like moving on from all that shit, but yeah, thinking about it, how bad is all the the DEI woke stuff? Is it bad in this new show?
It's not bad. It's just it's present. You just got to put it to the side and not really think about it to actually like try and enjoy something that's supposed to be nostalgic but new for the new audience. And yeah, it's different. When she wears it too long, it does start growing the gremlin ears and looking way more horrific, like it's actually taking over her body, like it needs a host. So, but yeah, I say give it a chance. See what you guys think of it.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, I sat through the Sandman show, and it had its highlights.
Yeah, so it's
the problem
points.
Like the problem with this kind of stuff is that there are, like, I guarantee it, there are good people, there are talented people behind projects like this. There's just that one person that's like, we're going to go ahead and do this one thing. You know, like, it's just that one person who's like, we have to do this one thing. The rest, like, you can have a good series. There's some good ones out there. Disney has some good ones on there.
Yeah, but
it's the problem just is that they're infused with that one person who's like, well, we have to add this.
Yeah, but that one person is the one in charge of everything is the problem.
No, they don't have to be in charge. They're not in charge of everything. Sometimes. I'm not saying that's not the case. But, like, there's a person who is in charge of, like, the DEI program, and they're like, okay, you guys are good. We love the work that you're doing. This is fantastic, but we need you to make these changes for us.
Yeah, and Disney's real bad about that.
They're the worst, yeah.
I will say I am excited for the X-Men 97 season 2, even though I've heard that guy left the show, so it's going to probably go downhill in the season 2. But
yeah, I think he was still a producer on that one.
I just hope they go with. I'm not a big fan of Age of Apocalypse, the comics. I like them more than I did when they came out, but that would actually be a really cool direction to take that show.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Age of Apocalypse.
All right. So since we're talking about horrors and everything, we're going to be getting back to our guests now. We are almost at the hour mark, so let's give this next, however long it takes. I don't care. We're chill on this channel.
Yeah.
So Ben, Justin, tell us the influences, everything that has to do with Tricks and Treats Volume 2, because that is what you guys wanted to share tonight. So I read the first one, all 7, and I gotta tell you, some of those fucking twists and turns that you guys came up with, I was not expecting, and they were brilliant. Like Ben was there for the one review that we did the other night. And I think it was Justin's story about the tree of life.
Yeah.
That twist with it actually becoming a tree of actual individuals, like branching out in a very dark and gritty way, and instead being the tree
of the living
of life. It's the tree of the living, and it's screaming and saying, "Kill me, help me." I thought that was so dark and twisted. I loved it.
I'm glad you liked it. Yeah.
But yeah,
that was my favorite story in that book.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the top 2. What was another one that I think it was?
What's your process? How do you come up with your story? Like, are you guys like so whenever we're working together, it's like we're hanging out around like a bonfire or something like that, like a little, fire thing. Maybe we're barbecuing or something, and we are drinking, and we're like, it's funny, ha ha ha. And then the other guy's like, oh, it'd be even more funny, ha ha ha. And it just bouncing off each other. What's your process? How do you come up with stuff?
We get out of each other's way, really. We just kind of go to our separate spaces, write our stories, and then we'll come back together and share them.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how we do it.
Nice.
Yeah, we usually come back to each other and then we'll be like, hey, can you edit this for me? Or like, tell me what you think about this. Where does it need to, trim the fat or like elongate this part, kind of bounce each other off like that. Yeah.
So is everybody back from Volume 1, or are there some new writers and artists on there now?
There's some new faces for Volume 2.
Okay.
So Mario Williams is a new artist on here. Chris Parfitt's a new writer on here. Keith Gleason's a letter. And we didn't have a letter, so that's one area we really needed to work on because I'm a horrible letterer, but I did what I could do.
No, you're good. And you got Preston Acevedo for the cover. Nice.
Yeah.
Where is that cover? I want to look at. Is this it?
Yep, that's it right there.
That is awesome. That's a different looking Cthulhu right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something Justin came up with.
Yeah. That's right. Put the teeth in the vagina. That's the way to go. That's how it really is. That's exactly. How it really is. That's how all women are. That's where they grab you and don't let go.
He's working through his issues.
Yeah. My art is my
that's
therapy.
eerie right here, man. About to eat the lady. I do like this lady though. That. I don't know. That kind of turns me on. That's probably sick. But
okay. Thanks, Jake.
That's for watching too much Goosebumps.
I don't think they'd allow that in Goosebumps. This is really cool. So does this cover basically like get a glimpse of like all the stories inside? Okay. Well, tell us more about it, man. Like what stories are going to be different? Like what kind of ideas do you have this time around?
You can scroll down and we'll hit each story.
Okay, let's go. You guys guide me. Okay, now I'm just scrolling. You guys guide me what to do.
Yeah, let's scroll down.
Okay, we're going.
So here's this first story.
All right.
So this one's called It Goes on All Fours. Okay. And if you know your Navajo legends, you might know what this is about.
I do not.
That's okay. It's kind of one of those twists at the end of the story.
Okay.
The Walkers of Skin.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
You know what it's about. You know what's going on. Yeah, so we start off with this old Native American guy who gets dropped off here on in the middle of the highway, and he's going to go for a walk. He's going like on a spirit walk. Okay. And he doesn't let on that he's out here for any reason other than he's just experiencing nature.
All right.
And you can keep scrolling down.
Okay. I don't know how far you want me to go before we go on to another story, so I'm trying to...
I think I shared like 4 pages of each.
Okay, cool.
Each story. Yeah, so this is where he gets dropped off, and there's been like a whole lot of people gone missing in this area. And while he's out there, he's confronted by like a ranger who says, "Hey, I'll take you in. There's a storm coming." And he's like, "No, just leave me here. I'm good." And while he's out there, he gets attacked or kind of cornered by some vampires.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it there because there's a little twist at the end.
Okay.
And it's a really short story. It's only like, I want to say like 9 pages, maybe 9 or 10 pages.
Now, with the truck, is that like a callback to maybe like, I don't know, the Twilight Zone movie?
It's not.
Damn, come on.
Sometimes a truck is just a truck.
But it can be if you want it to be.
Oh, and then it is. It's like, you want to see something really scary?
Yeah.
Wait to the end of the story.
Do you guys find it easier to write shorter stories than longer? Like, is there a reason that you condensed it down to 9 pages only? Like,
yeah. So when we first started Halloween Head Comics, our original plan was to do a long ongoing series.
Okay.
And we probably worked on that for like the better part of a year, and we just weren't making any headway. And so we both were really in love with Lovecraft at the time. And so we're like, you know what? Let's just, that's when we decided, let's just go our separate ways. Let's just go to our rooms. Let's write the story we want to tell.
Okay.
In that vein, and just try and make it like half a book. So we each wrote like an 18-page story or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And
that brotherly love. Get the fuck away from me. I'm working.
Yeah.
That's my stuff.
I can't work with you. Yeah. And so that's kind of how we started. So these all started as floppies in the volume 1 stories.
Okay.
So volume 1, the first 2 stories are Lovecraft inspired stories for that reason. That was the theme of that first book.
Right.
The second book, you'll notice that there's Sasquatch in both of those stories, the next 2 stories.
Okay.
That's because that was the theme of that book. And so that's kind of how we broke it down. Like we each wrote a story and we put it in the book as like a double feature.
Nice. I really like these 2 panels here. The last panel on the the page above, and then this first panel. I really like silhouettes. I don't know why, but I love it. And the glowing red eyes really set it off.
I love the composition on this. Like, this stands out to me, how you have like a little bit of a vignette. It kind of focuses like everything towards the center.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, as a penciler or the artist, you want to make sure that you're guiding the eye to the focus of the panel.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always,
you nailed it with that.
Yeah, that's always the ideal.
Well, you got it 100%. I love this art. Is some of my top favorite. I love it,
man. I appreciate that.
Well, you should know I completely bragged about it the whole time. Okay, so the second story is called Cephas.
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 Right. And that's the name of like the Apostle Peter.
Okay.
That was his Greek name, Cephas. It means rock. And so like that name just kind of stood out to me, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a vampire who was burned alive, survived, but those scars that the sun left on him made his body rock hard and impenetrable. And so he's like a religious person before he got turned into a vampire. And so this is kind of like his vengeance quest. And he's like John Wick. He's coming back to kill the vampires that made him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
That skin is sick. Right here in this panel right here, you get that little glimpse. I love that.
Yeah, I think Freddy Krueger.
I always like that kind of like Blade origin story kind of twist where it's like, because I mean, if you're going to have something fight vampires, why not like something that's on the same playing field as them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is this like a...
So this is his origin story. He's kind of telling his past before he changes. This is him before he turns.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's the vampire that turns him. That little boy.
The little boy turns him?
The little boy turns him.
That's different. Poor little priest boy. Just trying to do good, trying to help out a little kid, and the little kid's like, you're gonna be lunch. Okay.
This is Justin's.
Yeah.
Okay, Justin. What you got?
All right, so this one is San Nefondo. This one is loosely based on like a dream that I had while I was reading a lot of Lovecraft. It's about this couple that they're on the road trip, one spring break evening or something, and strange mist overtakes the car that they're on this desert road and transports them to this seemingly vacant town. Okay. These buildings are all derelict, and there's one building in the entire town with the lights on. So the girl walks in while the guy tries to fix the car, looks for a phone somewhere else. The girl's going to ask for help, and when she walks in, she sees that it's some kind of church filled with a lot of people in shadow and robes. She doesn't know who they are. She can't really see them. But the lights start to come on. They start talking, and we can see that these things are Lovecraftian creatures, we'll say. They're monsters. So, that's story is about them finding themselves in a place called San Nefondo, and they've got to get out of there.
That's awesome. I can't stop looking at these pages because I love the grittiness. I love how rough and etched it is. This panel right here with the car, absolutely love that. Are you guys still doing like the painterly and charcoals and everything, or is this digital?
So this is all like brush ink. With every story, I try to adapt like a slightly different style. It just kind of depends on what I feel like the story needs to tell it the best way I can.
I respect that. Yeah.
So some of these are going to be like a watercolor. Some of these are going to be an ink wash. Some of them are in, just pencil and ink, kind of more traditional style of making a comic. But this one, it was a lot of ink wash, dry brushing, and I used like a super fine liner to just try to etch like shadows. And it took me like an hour to do like a single building because I'm trying to like cover it in with a lot of fine lines. But I really wanted that like sense of texture on the buildings.
Oh, you nailed it. I love it. Yeah. There goes Jack and Diane to their doom.
Little ditty. Jack and Diane.
Yeah, ain't no ice cream parlor there.
No.
Will they ever find those chili dogs?
All right.
This is my favorite story in this book.
Oh, okay. Well, you better hype the fuck out of this one. Let's go.
Do it, Justin. Do it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So this is Die Brute. This is probably my favorite story that I've done. Basically, it is it's a World War II story. It's a little bit like The Thing, Event Horizon meet Where Eagles Dare. So basically, these American soldiers are sent into Germany to extract a spy from a German castle. When they get there, they find that the castle is actually used for occult purposes. They're experimenting with science and magic in there. So there's creatures and things running around. Something has happened right before they got there, and they kind of find the aftermath and these loose creatures that they've got to fight their way out of this castle and try to extract this spy that they think is still in there. So that's the setup. You know, I did my best to kind of go for a black and white World War II movie. I told Ben to color it with like very muted
saturated
colors, which is very difficult because Ben's an incredible colorist. And so I know he had to fight himself a little bit, like, I could make this look so much cooler. Like, yeah, but we gotta make it look black and white. You gotta, you're
basically telling him that you have to color this with one arm behind your back.
Basically, yeah.
But I really wanted to level up like the creep factor of it. Like, can I get it to like feel like a monotone story? And then like once you start introducing these characters, can I make you feel like a little something like jumping out at you, or it starts to twist the world a little bit, like these things don't belong here.
That's all. Yeah, those two characters right there do not belong there. That's fucked up.
I think that's everybody's favorite page, that panel right there.
They like that panel.
It's really good. And the containment units look unique to what I'm used to seeing holding stuff. Usually it's plate glass or bars, but like the circular and this is awesome.
I want it to feel like it's an actual like airtight chamber that they have to like unleash to like open these things up.
Right.
The story itself is kind of based on a couple of urban legends. One would be Dyke Locker, which is or Dyke Lock. I don't remember how to pronounce it anymore. But basically, there was an urban legend that the Germans had been working on a UFO that they found, and Dyke Lock means the bell, and it was bell shaped. So Die Brücke means the bridge. And when they get in there, they find that one of the projects they were working on in this castle was something called the bridge, which is kind of like the Event Horizon idea of like a thing that can take you from one point to another. So when it kind of goes to another place, it incidentally rips a hole into another dimension where these things are, and this type of radiation that will change human beings is. So that's one thing. Another one is the Rat House. And I don't know if you guys have heard the urban legend around the Rat House, but it's a real place in Germany. And it's used as a city hall now. But the rumor or the legend around it is right after World War II, some people went in there to like do reconstruction on it. Whenever they went to the basement area of it, they found that there was like 2 extra floors down, and they were flooded with water. So they send down some divers in there. So the divers, I think there's like 3 divers they're supposed to send down there. Only one diver comes back up and says the other 2 are gone. They're gone. They're dead. Like, well, what's down there? I'm like, well, there's these things down there. We don't know what they are, but they're submerged in water. There's humans down there submerged in water, but they're still alive. Some of them have like animal heads on them. Some of them are, just completely deformed. They're, they've been experimented on, but somehow they're still alive. So the rumor is that they filled the bottom 2 floors with concrete. They just completely sealed it off, and it was just never to be explored or discussed of again.
Oh shit, that's a story I've never even heard of. I need to check that one out.
Check that one out, man. There's a channel called Bedtime Stories. You can find both Zeiglocker and the Rat House on there. And really creepy stuff. But man, when I heard those stories, my brain was just like exploding with ideas. Like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool?
This is really cool, man. I like this shot where you kind of like only have half the arch. The rest of it's probably covered in snow right there. This is really good. Yeah, that castle, that rocks. Not a lot of people can actually do the downward view for their panels and characters to look, accordingly for that kind of shot. People kind of like scare away from doing a panel like this for some reason. But I love this.
Yeah. Thank you. I definitely took my time and labored for a while on this one, but I absolutely loved it. This is, like I said, it's one of my favorite stories that I've drawn and written. So.
Yeah. How many pages is this one? How many pages is this story?
21, I think.
God damn. And I'm only getting 1, 2, 3, 4 pages.
Yeah.
I want fucking more now. God damn. All right. Next up, I guess we're back to Justin.
Yep.
That's
for
Mike
Hurts.
Yeah. So this one's a 10-page story. It's a little shorter. And this is just kind of a fun, like Twilight Zone type episode of, or issue idea or a comic idea. So basically there's this newlywed couple, and this guy barges in one day and he's freaking out. He swears there's something chasing him, and his wife is freaking out. Like, what is it? So he keeps telling her, there's something chasing me. There's something after me. I don't know, how to explain it to you other than it's evil. It's the devil. It's something, monstrous. Okay. And we kind of get a backflash from him that there's been something following him for some time now. And every time he sees it, it gets closer and closer. And the last time he sees it, it starts to chase him. And that's what kind of forces him home. So now he's at home with his wife, and there's this evil creature outside of their house that he has to defend both of them from.
That's crazy. Wait a minute. So in this panel, he's inside the church, but the demon can't get to him.
The demon is just outside the wall.
That is great. I love it. Just waiting for his prey.
Yeah.
Like Darth Maul walking back and forth.
Yeah.
Waiting for the shield to come down.
It's cool.
Yeah, the fun thing about this one too was how we colored it, like giving it that old
I was just about to say
look, and then Keith Gleason did the lettering the same way. You can see the white of the bubbles kind of come out just a little bit, a little offset.
Yeah, this is classic.
Kind of give it that old EC feeling. So we had a lot of fun doing this one.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be like yellow paper, it goes
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The color is coming down this alleyway. I love the greens playing against the blues and the purples, the sky here. And these aren't what you would call Ditko dots, right? Are these Ditko dots or Kirby dots?
No, this was just like it was a texture that we threw on there. I think it was just like a newsprint texture. Yeah.
This is really good. I love that old school look.
Yeah, we try to make each story look unique and different.
You guys are nailing it. Okay.
And, this is also me. Let me see.
Yes, my favorite kind of paint art. I love this. Watercolor.
So this is Across the Sea. This is actually, I think it's from 2015. This was my very first story I ever wrote and illustrated at the same time. Actually, 2015. This is my very first story.
There we go. Sorry, I had
to. That's okay. I'm not crazy, right?
I wonder what the hell that was.
Man, I was like, my computer just completely froze up, and then I was like, oh man. So I put my phone on. I was like listening and jumping in the chat there, talking to Mo Biggs and Colonel Zaid. What's going on, guys?
Oops.
Nice.
Yeah, there's that whole conversation going on in the chat right there.
I was so involved in what was going on in these pages. Like,
what's up, Oliver?
I'm scrolling on a different page.
Hey, Ollie.
Oh, that's how I noticed that the stream was like the wrong stream, because we had some people in the chat over on the other stream but we were over on this stream. That one wasn't going live until it was supposed to be the one going live, so everyone was in that one. And now I guess they're all catching on and coming over here now.
Yeah,
we got Oliver, Mo Biggs, Colonel Zaid, and there's a consensus. Dyke Locker is the best name ever.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of movie.
Holly's even here, man. What's going on, everybody? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the chat. I was scrolling, looking at some beautiful pages.
And it took my computer forever to reload.
So let's continue doing that. If you guys have been watching while you've been scrolling through this thing, you can get this over on Fund My Comic right now. They actually have a catch-up campaign.
There's no catch-up. There's no catch-up here.
For Tricks and Treats Volume 1, I think that's still going on, right?
No, there's no catch-ups here. Volume 1 is sold out, and we might not do another printing. We're thinking about it.
Shame.
Yeah, you got to do another
Volume 2.
Of that.
We're doing Volume 2 right now.
But issue Volume 2 comes out as soon as you order it, right? Like, it'll be shipping.
Right.
Like,
it's here. It's done. We got it in-house.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Right.
So we got cover A, cover B.
Do the stories tie together? Is there something in issue 1 that you need to read in order to get issue 2?
No, this is anthology style, like Twilight Zone.
Okay. Well, if y'all do an issue 3, so Graveyard Shift does this thing where they condense the 2 into 1. If you thought about doing something like that, you got to have that stuff re-put out there, either Second Chance or something.
Yeah, we might do that going forward. If there's any desire for it.
I want to read about the Screaming Tree. Jake sold me on that. I hear about a tree of life and everyone's in pain and agony. I love it.
Yeah.
There might not be a ketchup tier, but is there a mustard tier?
Oh my God.
Maybe.
That almost deserves a removal from the panel.
What if you don't want to do the reprinting? Because I know that costs money. What about a digital?
Yeah, we could do that.
Option.
Actually, it's on Global Comics. You could get the digital version.
There you go.
Volume
1.
Awesome.
All right. Kick them.
I want to read it.
Ollie said kick them.
Unsub.
All right, let's get back to this. Sorry about the interruption. Let's go.
Oh, that's cool. So the kind of the gist of this story is deep sea diver, him and his uncle and his uncle's crew go out to the sea to look for sunken treasure. When they get out there, they find a group of these again Lovecraftian monsters. This was during like the time like also that I was very into Lovecraft and Lovecraft lore and all that stuff. So I kind of started developing my own mythology for those kinds of creatures. But they go out there and they end up finding these creatures out there guarding the area of the treasure, and they have to deal with those creatures.
Oh.
So yeah, this was done with watercolor. I did every panel was its own painting, so I put them together like a collage in Photoshop. There were over 100 paintings, I think, for I think it was a 30-page story or something like that. Yeah,
you've got to turn some of these pieces into like posters, man. These are so good.
Yeah, I do like this one right here. This is an awesome piece.
Yeah, that seems to be everybody's favorite. That was one of my favorites, and that was probably the quickest one.
Son of a bitch.
It's funny how that works, right? It's like a real quick one, but it's like, wow, that speaks to me on levels.
I spent 5 minutes on it.
Did you use on that the white part right there? Was that tacky shit that when you do watercoloring, you know that sticky, I forget what they call it. That sticky stuff you put down, and then when you paint over it, and then you just peel it up, and it leaves.
I know what you're talking about.
White. I know how to make
that was
stuff.
actually just that was just dead space that I didn't use. I just avoided it with the brush, but I may have like embellished some of it with like a whiteout pen, but not much of it. Most of that's just white paper.
Nice. That's awesome. And I love using that stuff. I forget what it's called, the tact something or other, but
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It got so expensive to buy that shit that I just learned how to make it. It's real simple. It's
like a masking, kind of like the mask.
Contact. Yeah, masking. There you go. Masking fluid. Yeah. It's just contact cement that's been like watered down with rubbing alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, real cheap and easy to make. It's nice.
Yeah, you can also take, I think, like a clear or like a little bit of wax or something like candle wax and rub it on the paper, and the
water will beat off.
Yeah, the watercolor won't attach to it, so it'll stay white.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Do you peel that stuff off afterwards?
No, it'll stay on there, so you better want it white.
Yeah.
Can't take it back.
No.
How many stories are in this volume?
7, I think.
7?
Yeah.
Going with the 7s. Okay.
This is over. Fund My Comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now, checking it out.
Yeah, there's one more story in here that's not posted. I didn't post any images of it. It was really, really short. I think it was only like 6 pages.
I'm leaving it. No, this is really good. I absolutely love this kind of art, these kind of stories that give you twists that you haven't seen coming before.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed volume 1, and I will be getting volume 2, like no questions asked.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
And anybody watching, if you have not backed Tricks and Treats volume 1, I behoove you to get volume 2 because these are fun. They're beautiful. I can't say enough about how much I enjoyed these.
I'm seeing here it's $30. How big is this book?
That's like 120 pages.
Oh yeah, that's a good deal.
That'll work.
That's a good deal. That'll work. Anything like when we would talk about like $30 books, anything like 70 pages plus, is like, if it's like a good looking book, then yeah, it's totally worth it. But when you get up to like 100, yeah, that's worth the money. Definitely, especially when you're looking at it going like, yeah, this looks interesting. I want to read this, and then you're like, wow, 100 pages.
It's a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah, man, that's cool, and I like anthologies too.
Yeah, Twilight Zone was a huge influence as far as like putting together an anthology and deciding to go this direction. But
so how long do you think this is going to be open for, this campaign, until you?
It's open until we sell out. I mean, it's there. It's a store. It's a store mode. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's no longer a campaign.
Nice. Oh, you guys got a low funding goal. No wonder you hit it so quick.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you guys go to conventions and throw these out too, or do you just do them for the campaigns? Or
it's mostly for the campaigns. There is one convention that we go to, and that's really about it. We really don't hit too many conventions.
Where do y'all go? Which one do y'all go to?
There's one in Oklahoma City that we go to called OAFCon, Oklahoma Alliance of Fans, and it's old school. It's
Oklahoma City. That's like 4 hours for me. I can make that.
Yeah, there's no cosplay. There's no actors. It's just pure comic books and collectibles.
Ooh, I like that. I mean, I like going to see like people, but I never go meet anybody. I see like, oh, Red Ranger's over there. I'll get him next time. Oh, Green Ranger's over there. Oh, I'll get him next time. Oh, never mind.
Are these limited prints?
Yeah. There's only a few left.
Yeah. Of physical book cover A, there is only 14 left of 27, and then for cover B, there's only 9 left of 11.
Right.
God damn. Yeah, I need to
There's
jump
only
on
23 copies left to buy.
Yes.
Yep, something like that. Yeah.
Well, then you better get it quick.
No shit.
They're not going to reprint these. Look at it. Look at issue 1.
Oh, shame
And then
on
you got a book in June.
Shame. I'm actually offended that you're limiting it. It's so much. These are so good. You guys need to make like.
I mean, if we made more money, would the print run would have been bigger.
Yeah.
It's limited by what we get. So.
Yeah.
But it's a storefront though, so there's no end date. You could get like I don't know 100 backers or whatever later. Down the road.
They'd have to do a second printing. What if you all of a sudden got? Oh, it wouldn't allow you to sell more than what you have, right?
No, I can go in and add more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tricks and Treats Volume 2. Did you guys go on Bancroft or anything to do some promo work or anything around the streams?
No, didn't do Bancroft show. I remember who I went on. I went on Pete's channel, Pizza Medi.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Pete's awesome.
Where else did I go? I was on 6x6.
No, nice.
Okay.
Julius Freeman's channel.
Oh, I haven't.
Did you ever go to Dojo's channel? We met a lot of people, so there's a lot of people I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I was like on a stream. I don't remember. Like I don't remember some of them. Some of them I definitely remember. Some of them I'm like, I kind of remember you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a handful. It wasn't too many. We didn't do too many shows.
As you guys were explaining it, I'm sitting here trying to read the pages like there's actually going to be an ending when it's just showing.
Yeah, you're getting into it.
Yeah. Dig it for the spoilers.
Yeah, no shit. Oh my god. Yeah. This is going to be good. I can't
This
wait.
story in particular is going to get its own little mini series, Cephas, the character. And that's the story, or that's the book that we're going to be launching in June.
Cephas?
Oh, cool. Now, how big is that book going to be? I'm excited about all this.
That's going to be like 32 pages, I think.
Okay, so that's going to be like just a standard comic.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in June. What's it called?
Cephas.
We'll definitely be covering that because I want to see that one all the way through. We came across this because we decided like no one's going through all the campaigns, just looking at everything. And so we were first kind of just like skimming through and seeing what caught our eye. And this one caught our eye. And then as we're going through it, it was like, oh, this looks actually pretty cool, man. This is a cool idea. That's around Halloween. It's a Halloween book. I think one of the things we were talking about that was, it's a Halloween book, so you'll get it next year. And it's like, because you know how crowdfunding goes. And then I think you jumped in the chair like, no, actually, we're shipping right now.
Yeah.
It's like a Halloween book you're actually going to get by Halloween? Nice.
Yep. Yeah, we launched in June, ended the campaign like August 1st, I think. Then put the funds towards printing the book and started shipping out like the end of September.
That's awesome, man. And
early October.
Got their Halloween books. So this is a rated R book. This is not for kids, or it is for kids?
No, it's for kids. I would say it's PG-13. There's some scary stuff in there, so it just kind of depends on what you allow your kids to look at. Yeah.
It's one of those things with the crowdfunding is like there's no real need to have. It's not like kids are buying books in crowdfunding, but it is nice to be able to say, "Hey, this is a good book. You should like and hand it to my kids and read it."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think we need kids. To be
we
buying
need
books.
to be able.
We
to
need
get
that
to
next generation.
Yeah,
of comic book readers.
That. But then, how do you get them? Because if they're not in stores or in their faces, YouTube's a good way. Kids looking for people like looking for interesting stuff, but they're all looking for manga. They're all looking for stuff that's not comic books. So you got to somehow get into that area and start spreading. You know what I mean? Get them out, get the word out. And comic book conventions is a good way. I like guerrilla warfare advertising where you just get like old bands used to do this thing where they had street crews, and I was on like a street crew for a band, and they handed me a box of just filled with stickers, CDs, and just random shit, right? And they said just hand it out. It's all free. It's all our freebie shit. And so my next day, my entire school was covered in stickers. Like I handed them all out, and everybody just put it on their lockers, and and then all of a sudden everyone knew about that band. So it was great. Like.
Yeah.
I say, hey, everybody that I know all over the country, you want a bunch of free shit with URL codes. I'm going to send it to your way, and you got to post it everywhere.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. TikTok would have been nice, although it's, supposedly going under or banned or whatever.
It doesn't sound like a PG-13, man. That's something else.
So yeah, but it is. You're right. We got to get the next generation into comics.
That's what I keep saying,
Skeet
but nobody
Cruise.
listens.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, we had the direct market. You know, we'd see them in supermarkets, gas stations, even. I remember going to Circle K and picking some up there.
Oh man, me too. Gas stations were a great place to go look at them all.
HEB and Circle K was where I get my books.
That same here, HEB, Circle K. I'm from Texas, so like, we love HEB over here.
Yeah.
And but on the other hand, I don't know if going backwards, like it'd be cool to get on shelves, but I'm not sure if that's the way. I think we need to move forward with the internet. Like I was just hearing about that on Ethan Van Sciver's channel, and I agree with him. I think the internet is the way forward, and that's good because you can reach a broader audience than just getting in a few stores across the country.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's the new direct market, really. Like where are all the kids at? They're on their iPads. You know, they're on TikTok. They're on Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, and we got to get them away from that dirty mangers. Got to get them away from the dirty mangers and get them into some sloppy comics.
Right.
Or the sloppy floppies.
There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to like make them take the transition from manga and back to comics somehow. I don't know how to unlock that though. What ideas?
Yeah, Mo Biggs called it. That's exactly right. Now that Ollie's got a book in stores, that's why I'm against it. It would be badass to see my comic book, you know, or like when I get my new book or one of my old books, get them in like a convenience store would be freaking awesome to see it.
Right.
But I don't know how much money I'd be expecting to make off of that.
Probably not much.
It is a cool thing to get in stores, but if you got to get in stores everywhere and get a good percentage, like you got to figure out how to get that good percentage.
Right.
I'm not sure how distributors work. I know magazine companies. I used to manage the store, a Walgreens, and they had we had these what do we call them? Vendors come in, right? You got to do something like that where the vendors come in and the store does not care about the products on the shelves. We don't have to stock that crap. And that is, I think, actually the way of the future when it comes to stores. When at Walgreens, one of the things they were talking about when I was there was the future being mostly vendors coming in, stocking the shelves. So employees wouldn't have to do any of that crap and the vendors would get their money by basically every time somebody checks out, they pay us, we pay the vendor their cut, and then whatever we keep what's left. And we did that with the magazines, like bread. We did that with what else did we do? Like propane. There's a few items that would come in, and we never had to check inventory or do any of that crap. The vendors would do it. Greeting cards was another one. Glasses, oddly enough, glasses was one. And they would come in and just scan it. Once you get the system all plugged in, there's got to be a way to do that where you can just say, "Hey, it's got the URL. Just set me up as a vendor, and then just deliver them or get somebody to go deliver them in stock shelves or whatnot." You know, if that's the route, you know, outside of comic book stores, if you wanted to get in somehow, that's the way to do it. But that's a lot of fucking work.
It is, yeah.
But it would
so
be awesome.
The cover B with it being black and white, is the whole book or the interior is going to be black and white, or is it just the cover?
It's just the cover.
Okay.
Yeah. I figured there's going to be some fans out there of Preston's who just want to see the artwork. And so that's why we did that. It's just a version cover.
They're not firing in for the rest of the comic.
I like this style right here.
It is.
Let me blow you up. Hang on.
Yeah.
Keep waiting. There we go.
Those classic books. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, interiors are color.
Nice.
The Justin Only comic, where
That's
it's just all black and white.
One of my favorite pages right here.
Yeah, dude, that's badass.
Yeah.
Well, go get it, folks. There's only 23 copies left. Go get it now.
This is awesome. Yeah, I absolutely love this. Of course, I've got my volume 1 right here.
You got to show us. Ben's still on the screen.
I'm still blown up here.
Star of the show.
Describe it.
Here we go.
There you go, volume 1.
Volume 1.
Very nice.
Absolutely enjoyed this thing, man.
A rare and hard to find book now.
What did got you into comics, anyways?
I got something special now.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
so
good.
Yeah.
Show Peter the tree.
Yeah, I want to see the tree. I want to see the tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he loved that thing. I was just on that story. Hang on.
Well, it's a cool concept, the tree of life, but it's like the tree of what was it called again? The tree of what?
Tree of the living.
Tree of the living, and that's like pain and suffering. I can personally relate to that.
Okay, so it's a splash page. So here it is.
Yeah, double page spread. There you go.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing some Dante's Inferno right there, man.
That is absolutely wicked.
Wow, man! You know what's crazy? I used to do these very large portraits, like 4 feet by 8 feet, of a bunch of like just naked swirling people in charcoal, right? And they're like photographic, life size like figures. And it was similar to this, but not like that. That's cool how they all kind of like form a tree. Mine was just like a bath of people just flowing around each other, and it was crazy. I love that. That's really cool, man. Good job. That's great.
Thanks, man.
Good artwork.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got into comics when I was about 12, I think. One day my dad came to pick me up. He had gotten me like one of those like 3-packs of DC comics. It was like Batman comics. And that was cool, but like I wasn't really into it just yet. And I also had a teacher who, whenever we got done with our work early, would send us to the back of the room where she had like a comic book rack. You could just hang out and look at books.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good teacher right there.
Yeah, so that's another way I was exposed to comics, but it wasn't really until I was like, just before I hit 13. Like I remember going to HEB and my parents would go shopping, and so my brother and I would go to like the magazine area just to hang out. And I saw a G.I. Joe comic, and so I picked that up.
Oh,
and I was flipping through it, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." So that was my first comic book that I bought. It was a G.I. Joe comic book.
Which one was it? Was it like the 80s ones or like the 90s?
This was the 90s.
Like, yeah, they're still good.
91.
Those were still really good back around that time. Yeah.
He's just a baby.
Hey, man, I was born in 84, so like I'm like, yeah. I remember seeing those G.I. Joe comics too, and I wasn't into G.I. Joe back then. I was into like all the trendy shit, That's how I got into it because it was in my face. X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman. I was like into all of those. But then later, I got into like the Max. I got in, which led me into some artistic routes, like Frank Frazetta led me into Conan, and then I'm like in Wolverine. So I want to know about Weapon X, and I find out about Barry Windsor Smith, and I'm like, I used to pick up at Half Price Bookstore. I used to get all the X-Men classics. They, for some reason, they always had classic X-Men, right? Those books, and those are like the older stories. And I just couldn't. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of them. And I think that led me into like Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine, and then that led me down, more roads. Dark Horse. I eventually picked up into Dark Horse, the Aliens, and all that. And I was just like, I always loved comics. But it wasn't until I was like 19, maybe like the end of high school, I was like, yeah, I really want to draw a comic. And then when I was in my like 19 or 20. I made 2 issues of a comic book, and they did good. There was like, I only printed like 100 copies, but they sold out real fucking quick. And it was fun. It was like a little local. It was a fun thing. But then like life happens, and it was like, I kind of had to focus on responsibilities. And then eventually it became clear, like, I need to be doing something with my art. Like everything else wasn't working. And I needed to focus on what I'm meant to be doing. It's like everything was steering me in the direction of this is what you need to be doing. Get the hell out of the oil field, bro. You're an artist. What the hell are you doing out here? But it was awesome because, you make a lot of money in the oil field, so I was able to put together my studio.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Did you guys make little comic strips or your own personal comics growing up or anything? Anything hidden back in the closet?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We can put our own superhero universe, and yeah.
When did y'all start making? When did y'all get the idea you wanted to start making books? This is your second book? Volume 2?
Yeah, Volume 2 is our second.
Okay.
And so y'all got into it a couple years ago then.
Yeah, well, I've been working with a local publisher since 2014, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've been
books and stuff.
Yeah, probably for the past 15 years or so, I've been working in independent stuff, coloring books for people, different companies, Creature Entertainment, Equinox Comics. There's a couple of other little small local ones.
Oh yeah, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own this time.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You guys.
Yeah. Yes.
My book. That's badass.
That's awesome. So, what is? I think I already asked this question. The horror. Is there anything coming up that you guys have planned that's not in the horror genre? Do you guys have ideas outside of that, or are you guys solely going to stick with thrillers and scares?
We plan to do it's going to be a mix of horror with different genres mixed in. So we got the vampire book coming up in June, and then in 2026 we're going to do a superhero horror genre.
Okay,
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any samples to show or share? To hit that one coming in June?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, what about are y'all hyper focused on your own projects, or if say I was oh man, I like the way this is going, will a guest write something for someone else? If I wanted to hire somebody or hire an artist?
Yeah, I mean, if we did another anthology series, you mean?
Well, if it's I've got some ideas, and I'm oh man, I've got this idea, but I like the way you write. I'm wondering, if I was oh man, can I hire you to basically polish this story off as here's the concept, here's the idea, the story.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll work with you.
Well, yeah, because I have an idea for an anthology as well. It's not anything that would compete with what you're doing. It's not horror or any of that kind of stuff. It's more sarcastic irony. It's
the Pitter Patter anthology series.
Oh no, sorry, I can't do that.
Well,
it's Pitter Patter related. No.
It's Pitter Patter. It's okay.
I'm sorry, I stole your thunder.
You lost me at Pitter Patter.
It's not Pitter Patter. It's Patter.
It's Patter Pitter.
Patter Pitter. Yeah.
God.
Patter Man.
The Pitter Patter Man.
What are some of the comics that you guys are reading right now? Anything staring at you in the face? You get you have to have it, got to read it, a series ongoing or whatnot?
I'm reading Transformers right now.
The new one's
Johnson,
good.
Jorge Corona.
Is that the one where he steps on the deer and is crying?
Yeah.
I like
He's
that
real sad about it.
And then he ends the way that book, that one, he's real sad. And then by the end of it, he's beating Megatron with his arm. He rips his arm off
slaps
and
him.
beating Megatron with it. That shit was badass.
Yeah. I've been reading
sold.
that book. It's such a good book. I love the way it's written, but I also love the art. Just staring at the way these robots move so fluidly. I wouldn't have thought you would be able to do that. So much of the way I kind of envision these Transformer characters, they're toys, so they're very stiff in my brain. But the way that they're able to kind of animate them in these still frames, it's really impressive.
And I like the designs. Let's get away from all that. Was that Michael Bay? Who did those
yeah, Michael Bay.
Let's get away from that shit because those look horrible.
They're just junkyard heaps moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Well, you didn't like the two steel balls just dangling in between the legs?
Yeah. Or the which one was it that his little gasket popped open, he started leaking on somebody? That was funny, but it's like, come on, man. Let's get serious with the Transformers. Let's get back to that, Transformer. I don't know. The first one was good. Second one was all right. Third one was meh. Fourth one, I don't even remember.
I didn't even watch it.
One. The one with dinosaurs, I watched. I was in Roswell, New Mexico for like a Alien Fest, and we went to go watch. My kids were like real little, but we went to go watch a movie, and the only one they had available was the 4D experience. And holy crap, that was expensive. But and it was not worth it. It was like you sit in these chairs, you sit in the chair, and it does like it sprays shit at you, and the chair moves and goes back and vibrates and does the thing. And the movie sucked. And on top of that, the movie sucked. I'm getting blasted in the face with shit because my daughters are too small. Like the 3D glasses don't work on them. And so they're like, what am I even looking at? Is this what movies are, Daddy? I don't like this. And I'm like, it's okay, honey. Like, don't worry. It'll be over soon. And I was like, God, get out of here. So, yeah.
Scratch and Sniff's Transformer experience.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. That was a bad movie. Bad experience. Let's go back and look at the aliens again. Let's get the hell out of here.
Right.
Like, let's go look at all the old alien decorations from like 30 years ago.
Shoot. Well, guys, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. I appreciate you guys coming on here and checking it out with us and sharing Tricks and Treats Volume 2 with us. Do you have the samples of your book coming out in June yet? Are those?
No, not yet. The artist is still working on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait a minute. You're sharing something. Hang on.
Yeah.
So let's. What is this? What?
So this is coming in 2026. This is going to be called The Frightening Adventures of Little Jack. And it's about this kid who joins forces with this ghost. And he gives him powers to fight against evil coming over from another dimension, evil dimension. Okay. And he's fighting against this cult in this town. So this is the superhero horror book.
I like the jack-o'-lantern head.
Yeah. The spiritual essence kind of leaking out of the eye. That's really good.
Right.
That's
Halloween heroes. How come nobody's ever done that?
Right?
I don't know. It's been right there all along.
Yeah. Now, granted, there are books that like follow like the horror genres and stuff, turn them into heroes, but like Halloween tropes. You know what I mean? Turn the Halloween tropes into the heroes.
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, and I'll share one more image.
Oh, I would post a link, but I don't know where it is, and Jake doesn't have it in the description. I'm sorry. Let me grab real quick.
Is that for the Tricks and Treats Volume 2?
Yeah. Hang on. Grabbing it right now.
It won't let me comment. Otherwise,
that is not the link. The fuck was that?
Am I wrenched in here?
If you actually comment in the,
I just posted the link. But I don't know if I'm a wrench. I'm not a wrench. How is fucking Mo Biggs a wrench and I'm not a wrench?
It's fucking Mo Biggs. That's why. It's fucking Mo Biggs.
I solemnly vow to abuse my wrench powers when you inevitably give them to me.
I didn't mean it that way, Mo. That's not what I meant.
It's all your fault, Mo. You don't bring me into this. You started this shit. Now you're going to finish it.
All right. The link for Fund My Comic and Tricks and Treats Volume 2 is now down there for you to grab it and go check it out. Do back it because you are missing out on some fun storytelling, man. And the twists that they have, you don't expect it. The story is taking you one way the whole time, and then right there at like maybe 4 pages right before you're about to end, just slaps you with something, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed it. I know
Thank
I'm
you,
going
Jake. I
to enjoy
appreciate
Volume
it.
2.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm sharing the next image.
Sharing the next image. Here we go.
Yes. So this is coming soon.
Lil Jack. I like that. That's funny.
Now this one looks like something that I could.
Fuck! Yeah. That reminds me. There was a book, wasn't there? Last Halloween. Hold on a minute. That reminds me of that book that was had the unfortunate name. Remember that? It was a kids' Halloween book. It wasn't a superhero.
The Pump Kids?
Pump Kids. Yes, Pump Kids.
Oh god.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah, that was funny because it wasn't a bad looking book, but the name was like Pump Kids. Are you kidding me? The Pump Kids. That's kind of like, they're not superheroes, but yeah, that was a Halloween themed like adventure book, which was cool.
Yeah,
that bad name. I hope they changed that name, but Pump Kids is bad.
Yeah, you definitely
Little Jack is
kids.
Yeah, Little Jack is way better.
I like the skeleton in the suit. Like he's missing his lower jaw.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. One of the villains, when he murdered this guy, took his lower jaw as a trophy.
Okay.
And so when he comes back to life, the ghost, that's his unfinished business, is to defeat this villain. And so he teams up with Little Jack to help him out.
That's awesome. So what about the bat? Is that like a familiar for the spirit, or is that
a vampire?
It's gonna be a werebat. He's
a werebat.
He's mixed with werewolf DNA. And so he wolfs out and turns kind of like into like a little Hulk, almost like Tasmanian Devil.
He's not like a vampire that turns into a bat.
No, he's not a vampire at all. He's not human.
He's
a real bat
by a werewolf.
Who's been is genetically spliced with a werewolf.
That's badass. That's like, I can imagine a werewolf with like bat wings, like a dragon.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a cool idea.
So when he gets angry, he kind of hulks out.
Don't make me angry. That's badass. Cool, man. I can't wait to see that. And that's coming out in 2026.
2026, yeah.
All right. Well, keep us posted on that because I want to see more of this.
Yeah, that looks awesome. That's great. And that's coming out this summer.
No, this one's coming out 2026.
Oh, 2026. Okay.
Yeah. The spinoff of his Jackal, the Tricks or Treats book, is coming out in June.
Cephas is coming out this June. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
June. I was going to say this summer, a Halloween-based comic.
Dude, that's the time to sell it right there because then you'll be getting it by Halloween.
Right, exactly.
All things considered, luckily, hopefully, you get a book out by then. Because with the printers, you never know. You know what I mean? I'm waiting on a couple of books that have been to the printers, and we're still waiting.
Oh, wow.
Because everything's backlogged, I guess. From what I understand, some of these bigger printers have a backlog. So there's a wait. Paper shortages and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like paper shortages is an excuse.
Maybe in 2020, it was like legit. I do agree. Like now, it shouldn't be an excuse now. Unless it's just way more expensive.
A ton of lottery tickets.
Yeah, right. Jeez. Hey, if all else fails, screw printers altogether. Get like guerrilla style. Go back to photocopiers at Kinko's, or was it FedEx now does the photocopy machines? I actually like those.
Idea.
Those are fun. Depot. You can sell them. They're going to be cheap. Yeah. Well,
it's cool. Ash cans.
Yeah, those ash cans, man. Those are fun to read, and you can make them for pennies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look who showed up. Dean.
Mate. What's going on?
What's going on, Dean? If you had a Dean James cover.
Oh, Biggs. He's like, if that paper shortage, go to photocopiers. Brilliant. Good point. Good point. Except that paper. You can still go get reams of paper and go to a photocopier. I'm talking a paper shortage. They were talking like selling those spools that they print the books on. That's different. You can still buy copy paper,
right?
Or acquire it in various means.
Nah. I'm enjoying everything that's coming out of Halloween Heads comics so far.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna eat this up, dude. You guys are doing what needs to be done. It's excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't see what you guys are doing anywhere else. I don't see anybody doing the thrillers. I don't see anybody doing the scary horror genre. You guys.
Well, hold on a minute. What about Pete Gilmore, Manny Summers? They have the Jack the Ripper stuff.
I haven't backed them. So
I backed Gem Shock.
Gem Shock isn't horror.
No. I said out of those two, I backed Gem Shock. I didn't back Jack the Ripper, although I kind of wish I did because some of those look pretty good. Like his artwork is getting pretty good.
Yeah.
But Super Dead was one that actually, when she explained the story, I was actually kind of intrigued. It's like, what if Superman got bit by a zombie and was slowly turning into a zombie, and his superpowers were keeping him like surviving it longer than most people, but he could feel his superness slowly going away and turning into an evil monster. I thought that's a fucking badass idea.
Well, now I got to go back and read Deceased because DC did a type of thing with zombies now, and I'm wondering.
Oh yeah, how did it affect the heroes?
How'd you come up with that idea? I'm wondering now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Not saying it. I'm not saying anything. I'm not even throwing that out there. I retract that statement. I don't want any blowback for that one. But yeah,
you know what? I want to go and see Deceased too now. Because I'm curious how not to see what the correlations would be, but to see how they handled that with Superman. Because I tell you what, the Marvel zombies caved real quick. Spider-Man turned into a zombie real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that like the whole thing? Like half of his head was like cut off from something, and it was like showing a little bit of brain, or was that Captain America?
Captain America.
I don't remember.
Because I remember that's how Red Skull beat him.
Because his brains were spewing out?
Yeah, he was like, your weakness is so obvious, and he just fingered it.
Wow.
That's
God.
Sounds a little bit like Peter Gilmore, or not Peter Gilmore. Sorry, Peter Gilmore. Neil Gaiman. That sounds like a Neil Gaiman story.
Oh man, that was terrible.
Yeah,
I understand that one on Too Many Bills. God damn. But yeah, good to know that you're just drawing Embrace 2 right now, Dean. That's awesome. Can't wait. But guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. I appreciate you coming on. It has been fun. I'm excited for Tricks and Treats Volume 2. The link is down in the chat. Mo, if you want to post that one last time for us.
You can put it in the description afterwards, too. And that way
I'll do that,
check
too.
It out.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, guys. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. And you guys,
yeah, man, it's always a pleasure. It's great talking to y'all.
Yeah, and you'll be back. This isn't the last time. We know you're coming back.
Yeah, you got to come on all the time.
Definitely. Hell yeah.
Sure thing.
Grody, you want to get the last word in?
Last word. But
fucking epic, bro. All right, appreciate it, guys. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. If you're just joining us, please go back, rewatch us from the very beginning. There's a lot that we cover. And of course, Ben and Justin, thank you for being with us again. It's been fun. I'm really excited about these books you're going to be coming out with. You do have an invested backer here from here on out.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Check y'all later.
All right.
Bye. Don't know how